1, 2, test. Test 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3, test.
Yes. Yes. Here. Here. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, Canfield community. This is Superintendent Noel calling with a special announcement. If you are a school person, that is the announcement you get from me on our all-call system. So I'm going to use that to welcome everybody here tonight, because tonight is no different. We have a special announcement. I can't tell how excited I am tonight to welcome our city council, the mayor, Mr. Calhoun, this evening. I was chatting earlier, in my 34 years of doing this work, I've never had an opportunity where we had a joint meeting of everybody in the same room. So first time for me. Our theme here in Canfield this year has been Every Cardinal Counts. And we've honored this theme with multiple special events during the year. I go back to the fall, we had our Champion Day, where we had students with special abilities come to Canfield. We had a great day together. We recently had a Military Appreciation Night, where we welcomed and honored our folks that have served in the armed forces. Tonight, we continue with that theme as we enter into a development agreement with the city to ultimately build a new elementary and middle school building in the near future, with the potential to one day have a centralized campus and the ability to include our high school as well. So here is our big announcement. The Canfield Local School District is coming to Redgate Farms. This development agreement is being signed tonight will provide the Canfield Local School District with 100 buildable acres in Redgate. And we're going to be on the southern part of that property in exchange for the city getting our current middle school building, which encompasses about 9 acres, the parking lot, and the transportation garage that's adjacent. This addition for the city could be awesome and a great opportunity to make an amazing nexus from the green to the library to the police and fire station, city building, all the way up to where our middle school currently sits. We're hopeful that the Committee to Support Canfield Schools will lead the passage of our bond levy in May. It's important for the public to know and understand that this bond levy must be passed before June of 2023 in order for the district to be able to acquire this property in the agreement. So June of 2023 is 1 year away. So we have some urgency with aging facilities along with this time frame. But these are amazing and exciting times here in Canfield for this entire community for sure. Especially exciting for those of us in the school business here as well. Every cardinal counts in Canfield tonight. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our school board president, Mr. Nader Atway, for a few comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knoll. I also wanted to thank Mayor Dragish, Mr. Calhoun, members of Canfield City Council, and the former Mayor Duffett for all that they have done to help work with the school district to ensure that we were able to get to this point. This is clearly a historic day, not only for the Canfield Local School District, but for the entire Canfield community. I want to thank again Mr. Knoll and the entire Canfield School Board for their focus and continued commitment to ensure that our students and staff can have the absolute best learning environment. It has been and always will be the priority of the Canfield School Board to put students first at every decision we make. The community, parents, and students have been asking for a focus on improving the facilities and educational environment for our students. It should be no secret or surprise to anyone living in this community that our buildings and grounds have become outdated, are in need of immediate repair, and could benefit from an enhanced safety and security component. A big thank you also goes out to our facilities committee. This group was a true cross-section of Canfield, including city and township officials, staff, parents, community members, and business leaders. These members were tasked with developing a master plan and have been meeting for months. Now that we have secured a location, we can move to the next step of informing our community about this opportunity for the future growth of Canfield. The Committee to Support Canfield Schools will be spearheading the charge as we head to the polls in May for our community, for our schools, for our future. Thank you. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Dragish.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to keep this real simple and real quick. I just want to say for myself and from everybody in City Council, I'm really excited to be a part of and to be able to put this forward for all the kids of Canfield and moving forward for new school system for Canfield. It's been a long time, and I think that all the right pieces kind of came together. I really do want to say a big thank you to Nader, superintendent, and everybody in the school board for making this happen. We sat down to try to make this work, and we went back and forth to really make this happen for Canfield. And so I'm really looking forward to it. So I want to thank you guys a lot, and I really want to thank the City Council, everybody too, and everybody that's here today. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. Our city manager, Wade Calhoun.
I may be the least known person in this room tonight, so I at least need somebody that is known to introduce me. Again, I'll keep it real short and sweet. When I started here in 2018, 2019, I think I toured with then board president Dave Wilkinson, the Canfield Middle School. And I didn't go to Canfield, but as I walked around that building, it was eye-opening to imagine my kids when they go to the middle school living in those conditions. Later on, we do civic activities in the springtime, and children from Hilltop and C.H. Campbell come to City Hall to learn about government. And I remember how relieved those kids were as they walked into City Hall because we had air conditioning. So some of those things really started in my mind thinking, wow, this is Canfield. What can we do to help the schools build facilities that Canfield deserves and needs? And so we're, with the help of City Council, former Mayor Duffett, new City Council, new Mayor Don Dragish, and the school board, then and now, we've been able to do it, again, by facilitating the school's ultimate master plan of getting the facilities that we need and deserve, and just the city being a partner in that and a ready and willing partner for anything moving forward in the Canfield community. That's all I have.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to recommend the approval of resolution number 71-2022 to enter into a real estate transfer and development agreement with the city of Canfield, found in exhibit number 1.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve resolution number 71-2022 to enter into a real estate transfer and development agreement with the city of Canfield as presented in exhibit 1?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Just to reinforce how great of an opportunity this is. Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
For the city of Canfield, we have one item on our business for this evening, and we do it a little bit different. We have, instead of reading the whole resolution, why we have a first and second reading, or title only, and approach it that way. So bear with us for a second here. As per the provisions of Section 4.05 Charter City of Canfield, I move that council dispense with the requirement of 2 readings of proposed resolution and authorize adoption of the same upon its first reading. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second, Mr. Nacarado.
Mr. Dragish?
Yes.
Mr. Morvay?
Yes.
Mr. Nacarado?
Yes.
And Mr. Neff?
Yes.
As per the provisions of Section 4.05 Charter City of Canfield, I move that council dispense with the requirement of a full reading of the proposed resolution and authorized reading by title only. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Neff.
Mr. Dragish?
Yes.
Mr. Morvay?
Yes.
Mr. Nacarado?
Yes.
And Mr. Neff?
Yes.
And Mayor, could you read the resolution for us, please?
Sure, certainly. We have a resolution to authorize the entering into a real estate transfer and development agreement with Canfield Local School District. I move for passage.
Okay, I have a motion. I do need a second.
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Nacarado. And any discussion, council? Okay, Patty?
Mr. Dragish?
Yes.
Mr. Morvay?
Yes.
Mr. Nacarado?
Yes.
And Mr. Neff?
Yes.
What's the number on that?
2022-3.
I'll invite Mr. Calhoun up to this table for the official signing of the document. Oh, he's clapping.
That deserves an applause.
I deserve an applause. There you go. All right.
All right. At this point, there is no other business for this special session meeting, so I will call for a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Our meeting is adjourned.
Okay, I'll need a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Thank you. I need a second. Second. Second, Mr. Neff. And we need,
Mr. Dragish?
Yes.
Mr. Morvay?
yes.
Mr. Nacarado?
Yes.
Mr. Neff?
Yes.
And we are adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
guys ready? Thank you. Call to order our meeting, regular session meeting for February 9th, 2022. Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway, President.
Here.
Mr. Campbell, Vice President.
Here.
Mrs. DeCapua. Mrs. Kluchar. Mr. Wilkerson.
Here. If you'd stand for the pledge of the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we would for those of you that were here for the first special meeting, we're going to go ahead and have our superintendent conduct a special presentation and based off of our special meeting. So I'm going to move out of the way and go sit down.
Yeah, if you guys want to go down too, so you can see, that'd be awesome. Well, good evening, everybody. Appreciate you being here. We're going to start the meeting off, like Mr. Radway said, with a little update on our facility project overview moving forward. So just to kind of talk to you a little bit about where we've been. The district's been in discussion with the OFCC, the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission, since around 2016. And a couple of our current board members were part of that. So this isn't really new to Canfield. There's been a lot of discussions going on for many years. Since my arrival, it's been kind of put on the front burner, and we've been moving forward. As Mr. Radway talked about earlier, we do have a facility planning committee that's been in place, and they've been meeting since September of '21. About 36 community members, a nice cross-section of folks to help be a part of that. We spent time reviewing, looking at past and current OFCC assessments, as long as also some information from TDA, which is our architectural firm that we brought on board, and Hammond Construction, looking at enrollment projections, financial considerations, and obviously master planning, where we're going to put it, what's it going to look like, what's it going to cost, the segmenting piece. Can we do everything all at one time, or do we need to break it down? So this committee itself, like I talked about, great people, great cross-section. They were given a pretty big challenge. The challenge was to develop a long-range master facilities plan. Think not only short-term, but what's this district going to look like 30, 40, 50 years down the road. Number one goal, and this is what I'm passionate about myself right here, provide a safe and positive learning environment for our staff and students here in Canfield. Number one priority. Here's some pictures of our body at work. Our first meeting was actually in this place right here. And then we moved to the high school media center. And you can see some familiar faces, I hope, including our board president down here to the bottom left. So an awesome, awesome group of people coming together. So everybody knows this, I'm sure, but just as a review, 4 schools. We have our 2 elementaries up at the top. C.H. Campbell, Hilltop, and where we're at right now at the high school, and the middle school, which is actually where the treasurer and I and Mr. Vitto, where our offices are here in the district. So let's talk a little bit about how old they are when they were built. So C.H. Campbell built in 1961, 61 years old. Hilltop Elementary, 1970, 52 years. And our middle school, and we heard some comments earlier about some of the issues we're dealing with there, 1922, so we're celebrating 100 years in that middle school. In high school here, 1966, so we're looking at about 56 years there. I put a few pictures here. I mean, sadly, I could probably talk for about a half an hour on the issues that are out there in the district, and I don't want to do that to you. But, I mean, just a couple major things to bring up. And this was alluded to earlier as well. You know, heating and cooling, or lack of, okay? That's number one of our main issues. Roofs and leaks in the Port Middle School right now, we're really having a hard time. You see these steam tunnels here. This is over at CH. This is an under the building type of scenario. A lot of rust, pipes breaking. That area floods a lot, so we're working on getting water out of there. These bottom 2 pictures are actually the middle school gym in the front. We're trying to hang on there as we're dealing with roof leaks. Boilers, old boilers are giving us some issues as well. A couple of pictures here. This is actually the high school. We're having foundation issues where the walls are separating away. that we're going to have to address quickly, and we will with some renovations. This is a middle school roof, and just some other pictures here as well. I'm going to give you a couple terms tonight. We're dealing with this in some of our buildings, especially in middle school. The term wicking. Wicking is where water penetrates the bricks. It gets absorbed in, okay? Over time, that happens. The other term is spalling. So once that water gets in there, it freezes, then it gets warm, it freezes, then it gets warm, and what starts happening is those bricks start falling apart and coming out. And we're dealing with those issues, wicking and spalling. Sounds like a law firm. All right, so our committee talked a lot about the need. The cost of operating and maintaining our aging facilities continue to rise. When I got here a year and a half ago, the middle school, the 8th grade section was just terrible. And long story short, I had to spend, and Ms. Treasurer, correct me if I'm wrong, about $60,000 to fix that roof because we just needed to do it. And those repairs aren't going away. One thing I hear a lot about from our elementary moms especially is our class sizes and how they vary from one building to the other, just based on the proximity of where our kids are. You know, being able to have just a one elementary building is going to eliminate that. That won't be an issue. And for me, I'm real passionate about this piece here, these 4 C's. I want to see our kids in flexible learning areas that are bright, colorful, cheery, and comfortable. And concentrate on those 4 C's: creativity, communication, collaboration, and critical thinking. And I'm also passionate about technology, as many of you know in this room, and new facilities are going to be able to allow us to make those technology upgrades that we want to do. So here's what we have. The board made it very clear when I got on board here that this whole project needed to be a campus environment, which I 100% concur with. When this whole thing's said and done, however many years it takes, I think that's exactly where Canfield needs to be. So phase 1 is going to look like this: a new elementary and middle school. And as we announced tonight, we're coming to Redgate Farms, okay? We signed a development agreement tonight with the city. But as I said, and I'll say it again, it gives us 100 buildable acres for this campus, which is amazing. In exchange, we're going to give the city our middle school facility and about 9 acres around it, the parking lot adjacent, and the transportation building as well. But it is all contingent on this bond levy passing. None of this happens if it doesn't pass. And the city has given us until June of 2023 to make this happen, which, long story short, we got 1 year. And I understand that. I mean, the city is not going to sit there and just hold this land for us forever, and I appreciate that. You know, they gave us that 1 year to put this in front of our voters here in Canfield and see where we end up. In addition to that building, the elementary middle school building going up, we're going to spend some money on this facility here at the high school. I mentioned some of the things that are in big need. Huge ones, the roof here as well, the heating and cooling, the foundation situation I showed you on the north side of the building, and a lot of nice safety upgrades. And one thing that I'm really passionate about is that vestibule that will get changed to be a lot safer than it currently is now with people coming in and out of the building. So here's the picture. So let me kind of walk you through this. This is the Redgate property, not all of it, but the southern part of Redgate. So this is Palmyra coming here, right, north and south, and this is Leffingwell running this way. What we're going to be looking at doing is putting our elementary facility here, okay, on this section. Some parking, some practice fields, those types of things. And I did mention as part of the exchange that we're giving up our transportation garage. So we're also going to be spending time on putting our new transportation bus garage south of Leffingwell on this map. So the big thing to take away here is there's a lot more property to the north, okay, but for us and the school district, there's 100 buildable acres in this neck of the woods down here that is coming to the Canfield local schools when this bond levy passes. Phase 2, like I said, is way down the road. Board made it clear, one campus, so phase 2 is, when the time is right, and this building that we're sitting in or standing in tonight has served its purpose, we will take the high school and move it to Redgate as well, whenever the time is right to do that. So that is a long-term phase 2. I know that's a lot of information fast, but I hope it was understandable to you. And, you know, as a superintendent, I can't tell how excited I am about this opportunity. I told some people tonight, I mean, this is possibly a once-in-a-lifetime shot here, where this Redgate property is available. You have a city council that wants to work with the school district, and we're in desperate need. So there's some urgency. We have aging facilities and a time frame to get that Redgate property to the school district. So next Thursday, the 17th, we're going to meet over at the middle school that night in the front gym, and we're going to have a 1-hour session. I'll probably talk a little bit more, well, not probably, I will talk more about the project, kind of rehash maybe some of these comments, but dig in a little bit deeper. We'll have an opportunity for folks to submit questions that night on cards, and we're going to live stream it so people at home can watch it and text us or email questions as well. Our communication gal said that opportunity will actually be up and running tomorrow, so you can go on our website and type some questions in, and we'll do the best we can to answer them live that night. And if not, we'll put together a nice FAQ document and just keep that thing running where you can go in and take a look at that as well. So a couple other things that evening. We're going to have a little panel discussion. So Dr. Betsy, is Doc here tonight? I didn't see her come in. There she, where you at? They're all the way in the back. Okay, so Dr. Betsy's here. She is our chairperson of the committee. Awesome lady, so she'll be the face on that end. Mr. Chris Smith was here. I don't know if he's still here. He's in the back there as well. Chris is the architect from TDA. Very knowledgeable, expert in the area. You're going to love hearing him answer questions and talk about what the vision could look like here. I'll be there. The treasurer, obviously, will be there. And then our board president, Mr. Ratway, will be there as well. He and Mr. Wilkinson served on that facilities committee, so they've been in the whole process that we have moved along as well. So should be a good night. We'll start kind of digging in a little bit deeper when we get to next Thursday. So, but thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Knoll. At this time, we are going to do the principal's introduction of our Rotary Student of the Month. So up first, I have high school.
Good evening. I just want to make sure this works. Sorry. My name is Mike Moldovan. I'm the principal at Canfield High School, and it's my pleasure. I would like this wonderful young lady to step down here as I talk a little bit about her. But she is the Canfield High School Rotary Student of the Month. Her name is Amelia Francisco. Please give her a round of applause. Amelia is a senior here at Canfield High School. Her parents, Sharon and Joe, are here. Wave out there, guys, so everybody knows who you are. You know, every month we come and introduce somebody, and sometimes people look at me and say, "Boy, you just keep giving these wonderful accolades." And let me say, it's because they're so deserved. I mean, these people are just absolutely wonderful. The pride and joy of the Canfield community. They make us all proud, their parents, the community, and Amelia is no exception to that. I had two staff members recommend her, Mrs. Kalina, who's her guidance counselor, and Mr. Reel, who is her basketball coach. And did you have math classes with Mr. Reel? You had geometry with him. So just listen to some of these words, because they say it better than I do. Mrs. Kalina talks about Amelia. She got a 4.3 grade point average, including AP honors and college credit plus classes. Very competitive senior class. She's a member of NHS, girls tennis and basketball. She is a leader among her peers and a role model for younger athletes. As you can see, she's got a warm smile for everybody she meets. She can be depended upon for her kindness and character, and just as an excellent representative of CHS. Mr. Reel, her basketball coach and also math teacher. In class, she is diligent, intelligent, and always willing to help her peers. She does not flaunt her intelligence. She is humble by nature. On the basketball team, she's one of the most physically and mentally tough players that they have, always sacrificing for the betterment of the team. Last year, she organized a car drive involving the tennis and basketball teams to send words of encouragement to those in nursing homes. She is a young woman with morals and a very, very bright future. And I couldn't say it any better than that. Her favorite subject in school is science and chemistry, and she's probably going to be doing something with that. When I asked her, who she has any siblings, she said she's got a dog named Brooklyn, which is interesting. I want to ask her about that. She has two sisters. Isabella is her oldest sister, and Gia just graduated last year, I think, and is a basketball player at Westminster, an athlete at Westminster. Family enjoys playing tennis. Amelia wants to travel to Greece, possibly attending Mount Union or Westminster, studying engineering. She plays basketball again and tennis and likes to read. And I'll just tell this little anecdote. I'll never forget when Sharon came to see me. I think it was Sharon, and they were considering coming to the Canfield districts. They were coming from a parochial background, and we talked about the positives. And I have some experience in private school and Catholic school. And I remember when she came to me, and I can never forget this, talking in my office about the opportunities here at Canfield and everything. And I felt we had a lot to offer her and her sister. And I cannot believe, I think that's true, but I think that the sisters gave more back to the school than we could ever give to them. So Amelia, congratulations. There you go.
Congratulations, Amelia, and congratulations to Dr. and Mrs. Francisco. Wonderful. Mr. Rubin.
Good evening. My name is Judd Rubin. I'm the principal at Canfield Village Middle School, and we are here to honor our Rotary Student of the Month, Yasmin Mufla, a grade 8. I'm going to make her come up here. I know she's shy, but I'm going to make her come up here. We are here, Mr. and Mrs. Mufla is here, and her younger brother Dean is here, so he's in our building as well. Hi, Dean. So, Yasmin was chosen for our January Student of the Month for her high moral character, excellent academics, and one of the kindest students in our school. Yasmin has a little brother Dean with some special needs. Every day she walks him to class in the morning, then meets him after the school to get him home. She also brings some of her friends in the morning to visit the classroom and say hi to all the students. Those family values that are instilled in her at this early age is so valuable and exemplifies what the Rotary stands for and given to others. We were so proud to give you this award. I brought her down to school, to the office today, and you could tell she wasn't used to being called down to the principal's office, so I tried to get some things out of her, but it was very difficult. But her favorite subject in school is history, and she finds it the most interesting. Something about with her family, they like to take walks on the bike trail, and they like to take car rides to Pittsburgh. Something to do in the future, she'd like to move south one day to warmer weather, but when she is ready for college, she'd like to stay close to home. And one of the things she likes to do in her spare time is to hang out with her friends. So again, congratulations. We are so excited to present this to you.
Congratulations to Yasmin and to Mr. and Mrs. Mufla and family. Mr. Lavery.
Good evening. My name is Travis Lavram. I'm the principal here at C.H. Campbell Elementary School. Here today to honor a very special young man, Dane Mole. I've had the privilege of knowing Dane for the past 5 years, and he's one of those students that it doesn't fail every year. I'm getting a comment from the teacher of how respectable and what a great kid he is. His teacher this year was no exception. Mrs. Benson, his classroom teacher, nominated him for this award, and she had a few kind words to say that I'm going to pass on to you today. She said that Dane is always putting forth his best effort in the classroom. He is a very respectable young man and is always polite to his fellow classmates. The one thing that really stuck out to her was that in her 20-plus years in education, Dane is the only student to say thank you at the end of every day for teaching him. He is truly an amazing young man. We are so blessed to have him in our school. Dane lives with his family, his dad Pete, his mom Kristen, and his sisters Capri, Leah, and Sevi. And Friday nights are board game nights at the Mole household, and that's one of his favorite things to do with the rest of the family. And in addition to that, he plays basketball, football, and baseball with a bright future of hopefully one day being an Ohio State Buckeye. So congratulations, Dane. We are very proud of you at C.H. Campbell.
Congratulations, Dane, and the Mole family. Mr. Flood.
Good evening. My name is Michael Flood, principal at Hilltop Elementary. I have Jake Smith here. He's in 4th grade, and he was recognized by Susan Woolley, our 4th grade teacher. It's funny, I just found out the other day that both these two elementary kids play on the same baseball team, basketball team. So the coach must be doing something good. So that is. But you know, it's one of those things. When I took over Hilltop last year, Jake was one of the first students that I ever met at Hilltop, and just his smile, just the way he carries himself, he goes beyond. Well, last year was a 3rd grade. But it was truly amazing. He goes beyond what a 3rd grader you would think would be. He represents himself. He helps out in the school. And his smile just says it all. I mean, he's just a happy kid. Mr. and Mrs. Smith are right out there. Mom is PTA president for Hilltop. And it's just a good compliment to just know that he was picked by the teacher, not myself, because Mom's PTA president. He's such a good kid. So, you know, throughout the year, 2 years, we got to know Jake. He likes to play basketball, football, baseball. He did want to become an NBA player one day, but he did switch it to be a teacher, right? And to be a teacher locally, so I thought that was pretty neat. He does have a sister, Kenzie, in 1st grade, and she's just a sweetheart. Mom says she's a little different at home than when she's at school. But, you know, she's just a sweetheart and a dog. So, you know, Jake is a truly amazing student, and we're glad to have him at Hilltop. So, thanks, Jake.
Congratulations, Jake, and then Mr. and Mrs. Smith. All right, as our super's coming back, we are going to, we have the presentation of the minutes from our January 12th organizational meeting, as well as January 28th. We'll receive these in advance. So upon review, if I can get a motion to accept the January 12th and 28th minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. Our treasurer reports, please, Prince.
Yes. Just a couple comments tonight. These are the reports from December 31st, so we're 6 months in as of these reports. If you look at the appropriation report, it's at 53%, so that's about halfway through. No issues on the budget after the 6 months. check payment register. Just wanted to point out one item. It's on here every month, but just as a reminder, on the last page, Arbiter Sports Bank, $7,129. This is the account that we use to pay officials online. Just wanted to point that out. Haven't talked about it for a while. And new purchase orders, they start on page 16. And the only comment I have on the investment report is hopefully we are going to see a rate increase next month, and maybe we'll be able to, at that point, get some CDs, or the investment interest rates might be a little higher than what you're seeing on this report.
That'd be nice.
Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Can we get a motion to approve the financials as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua? Yes. Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Attway?
Yes. Grab the public comments.
Miranda Johnson?
Just as the year coming up, just as a reminder for those that maybe are new to public comments, just state your name and your address for the record, and then you have 3 minutes on the clock. Thank you.
This is Lois. I'm Miranda Johnson. I live at 160 Chapel Lane, and I have a kindergartner at Hilltop with 2 more kiddos coming up through. I have followed the chain of command and sent 7 emails, and of my 7, Mr. Knoll, you were the only one to respond. So we have moved to Canfield solely for the school system, and at 5 months in, we are grossly disappointed in how our child's education is going so far. I have come here looking for explanations and a couple questions. I don't expect them tonight, but I do hope someone will follow up with what the remedies to these are. I understand that new schools are needed, and I 100% support that. You need our support, but we need your support for our children's education. New buildings are not going to fix these issues. Sharing a phys ed and an art teacher between our elementary students is unacceptable. Why were teachers not hired when the previous ones retired? What is the plan to remedy this, and what is the timeline on getting new teachers into the buildings? If we pride ourselves on a tradition of excellence, how can we cram 22 to 28 students in a classroom? What is the plan to lower the class sizes as Canfield continues to grow? What is the plan to lower those class sizes as we expand our buildings? The music program at Hilltop is really sad. It is devastating in comparison to what they're doing at CH. The kiddos at CH in kindergarten are preparing for a musical. My child at kindergarten goes 3 times to music class, 3 times a week for a half hour, watches videos, and plays Simon Says. Music education is empowering to our kiddos. It is important. It helps their brain development. It triggers both left and right side of their brain, and she's watching videos. We can do that at home. If you ask any of the kiddos in kindergarten if they want to go to music, they will complain. I've asked the teachers, the kindergarten teachers especially. The kiddos rebelled when they found out they were going to go to music 3 times a week. That's sad. And they're only in kindergarten, and they have a bad taste in their mouth about music. My last question is that the elementary schools are without a librarian. I know that we are asking PTA parents to volunteer in the library. I've never received anything personally home asking me to volunteer in the library. Once I reached out to PTA, I found out how I can do that so that our kids can go to the library. But my babe's had the same library book sitting in her book bag since November. She has not been back to the library. So our children will be in school for 177 days this school year. 87 of those days will be spent visiting music class. 33 days in STEM, that's it. 21 days out of 177 days they will spend going to gym. 20 days they will spend going to art class, and maybe 10 visits to the library. There's 5 days in a school week. We have 5 specials. I really think we can figure this out by hiring some new teachers into the buildings. So thanks for hearing me out. that's all I have. I do hope to hear back from somebody and further this discussion. Thank you.
Brian Chapona?
Yeah, I'm Brian Chapona. I live on 8035 Briarwood Court. I have a daughter at C.H. Campbell. Ohio Revised Code 5505.01, Section B. You want to know what? You want to know what this says? It says public transportation does not include school bus transportation, charter, or sightseeing services. We were told by you that the buses were included in the public transportation rule. That is incorrect. I do not appreciate being lied to. Please consider the mandate, removing the mandate on the buses. We know it doesn't work in the schools, so why will it work in the buses? There are 4 Ohio school districts that have recently dropped their mask mandate that I actually need to figure out if all of these are on the list, but my understanding is Holmes, Wayne, Ashland, and Solon. Miranda talked about gym and art, but there was a few postings since last month of actual employment sections on the website. Still no gym or art. Would you like to hear the entire description of the job description on the website? Maintenance custodial, opening in 2022. That was the entire job description. School teaching, middle school teaching, available in 2022. The entire job description. Even if you were serious about filling these positions, I'm not sure anybody would take them seriously. I know you have plans for the future for the buildings, etc. My kids won't see any of that. They might see the high school. By the time the grade schools and the elementaries are done. So what is the plan in the interim to get the schools up to ASHRE standard 62.1, which says use air exchange unit, air purification, MERV filter, UV lighting. This is being required for all new school buildings, and I hope you're doing that for the new buildings. I'm probably assuming you will be. We pay a lot of money to live here. You're spending our money. Please step it up. Thanks.
Thank you.
Ivana Delan?
Thank you.
Marissa James?
Hello, I'm Marissa James, and I live at 35 Camelot Court. And I have a son that will be in kindergarten next fall and a daughter that will be coming up in the years to come. And I'm speaking today on behalf of a growing number of parents that are concerned about the large class sizes at C.H. Campbell. I'm an educator myself. I taught kindergarten for 5 years. I now teach first grade. I've been teaching first grade for 5 years. I've been in a classroom with 29 kids teaching kindergarten, and I could tell you that it's developmentally inappropriate, it's chaotic, and it's not what's best for the kids. We actually, in my district, I ended up hiring another teacher a month into the school year because after the teachers, the parents, continuously complaining, our board and our administration realized that they weren't doing what was best for the kids. There are many reasons to protect lower class sizes in grades K through 2. Some of the most important ones are that kids at this age need space to explore and discover. And although many people might think that kindergarten is a time to play rather than a time to learn, K and 1 are the years where these kids are getting the phonics program that they need, the phonological awareness that they need to be readers. And all the research, including research from the Reading Science Academy, the current research says if they don't get this foundation by the end of first grade, they're not going to catch up. So that alone should be enough for us to realize it's important that we lower the class sizes so that teachers can actually meet with these kids in small groups and give them what they need. Also, much of our special education population is not yet identified in these grade levels. So you have special needs kids that are not identified sitting in rooms with 29 to 30 other kids. They're not getting what they need, and those teachers can't give them what they need. Also, with COVID-19, there's more emotional trauma across all ages than I've ever seen. These kids are going to struggle in an environment where there's 29 other kids and one teacher. Some possible solutions that I've come up with are, of course, to hire another teacher. With the ESSER funds from COVID that all districts are getting, I know it's a different amount for each district, part of that is supposed to be used for staff and to close the learning gap. I would think that it would be money well spent to hire another kindergarten teacher. Another solution would be at the very least to hire a kindergarten aide to accompany each teacher so that there's some support and these kids could get more of what they need. And maybe also a Google survey, seeing if parents would be willing to transfer their kids to Hilltop if the numbers are lower there, or vice versa, so that we could even out the class sizes. Because yes, the new schools will be great, but they're not coming anytime soon. And this problem needs to be addressed now.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I gave
That's
you
fine.
30 seconds longer. So
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Corey McLean.
What was the name? One more time.
Corey McLean
Corey McLean? No?
and Brittany Schuler.
Brittany Schuler sign in or no? Oh, you're not speaking? All right. He just signed in for sake of signing in. That's fine. That's good.
That's it.
That's it? All right. Thank you to everyone for their comments. At this point, I think this is you, Mr. Knoll. Is this new business?
Yes, so this is National School Counseling Week, and we have some awesome ladies in the district that serve as counselors. So we have a special proclamation. Whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential, and whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development, and whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children, and whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves. Therefore, I, Joseph A. Knoll, do hereby proclaim February the 7th through the 11th of 2022 is National School Counseling Week. And once again, a big thanks to our gals that help in the school counseling positions. Thank you.
Thank you to all our school counselors for sure. So next up is the appointing of the legislative and student success liaison. So is that,
That's me. I mean, I did do it.
It was me as well.
all right.
Did before? I did.
So do we need motions again for,
No, she's doing both.
yeah. Was that both of you?
I'm sorry?
Was that a shared position?
We each did it once, I think, because it's yearly, correct?
Yeah. Well, no, I think you did it for OSBA and I did it for, last year with
So
the
we need to appoint.
Nicole Miller
we just need to have
success
a person
emails
do
that come.
So would you like to, was there anybody else? I guess we'll take a motion for who would like.
volunteering.
Volunteer?
Yeah, volunteer. Would you like to, who,
I'll do it again.
I would not like to do it again. I'm sorry, if there's something else, I would much rather try to work on something else.
I'll do it.
all right, Ms. Klucher, can I get a second from, or do I need just to, is this an accept?
No, we can just name it.
All right,
I don't think they
all right,
voted
Jenny,
on me last
Ms.
year.
Klucher's volunteering, so we will go ahead and put her down for our legislative and student success liaison. Thank you, Ms. Klucher, for volunteering,
You will.
keeping me honest, appreciate it. All
All
right,
right, some personnel?
yes.
I'll take that. Under personnel for resignation, I'd like to recommend Brooklyn Scott, or Special Needs Aide, effective February 4th, 2022, her letter of resignation in Exhibit number 1A, and also the hiring for extracurriculars under Exhibit number 2. Those folks as presented.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to accept the resignation of Brooklyn Scott as outlined and the hiring of our extracurriculars as presented in Exhibit 2, which are the boys soccer coach listed as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I will say I see a segment of the boys soccer team in the right corner of this auditorium, so I think they're probably all here anxiously awaiting to see what the name is. So it looks like Michael Bailey is being presented for hire as the high school soccer coach. So while I will say I'm looking forward to that, but I also want to thank Coach Clark as he took on the transition of our soccer team and had great success this past season. So I want to thank him publicly for that, and then look forward to our new coach taking the helm. Any other discussion?
Oh, and our JV soccer coach will be Philip Stanek.
That actually, no, is that's an amendment from, I think.
That's a resolution.
Yeah, so that one listed was more for a correction of an error that happened from last season.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend the adoption of 2022-23 school calendar found in exhibit number 3.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to accept our 2022-2023 school calendar as presented in Exhibit 3?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? For the record, I just think that we will just note that the calendar, the start date would move up
2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend approval of an increase of $10 per day for substitute teachers' pay, $110 a day, retroactive to Tuesday, January 18th. This aligns with the recent increase that was approved by the COF.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve an increase of our substitute teacher pay by $10 per day, retroactive to Tuesday, the 18th of January?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. Donations,
Want me to read them?
if you'd like.
Coca-Cola Consolidated, $4,000. It's our sponsorship fee. Box Tops for Education, $48 to CH, $121.30 to Hilltop. Coca-Cola Give, $26.70 to CH Camel, $25 to Hilltop. Francis and Marcia Tarosi, $489 for the Washington DC trip sponsorship. Bradley and Amy Kincaid, $1,000 for the same. Ohio Pile Prince, $21.32 CHS Principals Fund. UKG Inc., $100 for the Lyon Thomas E. Zerwick Memorial Engineering Scholarship. And Greg Kerr, $1,000 for the Nicole Judy Kerr Memorial Scholarship. Total cash donations for the month, $6,831.32. That brings our yearly total to $62,971.
Great. Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the donations as presented in Exhibit 4?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you to all those that donated. Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend the adoption of resolution number 72-2022, which is membership in the OSSAA for the 2022-23 school year, which is exhibit number 5.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 72-2022 for membership in the OHSAA for the 2022-23 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend the approval of the high school robotics team to travel to the Wilson Center in Cleveland on March 24th to the 26th of 2022 to participate in the first robotics competition, providing transportation and lodging, or paid by an outside organization. That found in exhibit number 6.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the out-of-state overnight field trip as presented in Exhibit 6 for the high school robotics team?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Capua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. And I think your superintendent's update.
Well, yeah, my presentation was done. I'll just give you the daily COVID update. We've had a good couple weeks, actually. And yesterday, we had 0 in the district, which was awesome. Today, we had 1 positive at the middle school and 1 at CE, so not a bad day today.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, at this point, we're going to ask for a motion to go into executive session. So I'd like a motion for executive session to discuss appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline of a public employee. At this point, also for those of you in attendance, we probably will come back from executive session. There'll be no action taken, so you'll feel free to leave. But if you'd like to stay until we come back to adjourn the meeting, you're more than welcome to. But I would ask for the motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Capua?
Yes.
Mrs. Kluchar?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson? Mr. Atway?
Yes. Good luck with your high school season, boys. coming back out of executive session at 8:19, and I think we have no other business, so a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.